Hey guys, let's look at some things that I saw on the internet, and these are like internet meme, but they're about something real, like a lot of memes are, at least try to be. And the first thing I want to talk about is this: when you don't know what you're feeling anymore, so you just lay there and feel nothing. This is about not having life in yourself. I guess you could call it in the word like apathy or things like that. That doesn't really help you at all. Like, how does something like that happen? How do you get like lost in this kind of numbness? The answer is because you're living a life that's like a construct, but it's not based on anything real. The foundation of what you do with your time, for example, it's not true. It's imaginary. For example, you could be aiming for some high place in society, some societal respect or things like that. But in your heart you know that, well, it's all kind of, not true. It's just like a ploy. It's the appearance of something. It's optics. That's the kind of thing that will lead you to this place that is like a sign to you that you're living a godless life. That's what a truthless life is all about. And this is another thing that I saw. This meme. I can't believe he didn't cry at the Titanic. Do men even have feelings? And then there is the boy version. Think of me once in a while, take care. And whoever doesn't know like what the reference is, it's a guy who took his own life. He ended his own life. But before he did it, he did something very lively. He commandeered an airplane and did a barrel roll and then crashed it into an island. He did something cool. And when this was happening, he was like talking to the air control, don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt anybody. Like he was being like you could tell that he was just he was like a good guy, kind of. But he was in a bad place and he didn't have any answers. That's also the same as what this girl is displaying on her face. It's just that it's like the boy version of it. It's like realization that, oh, death is the answer. Once you are so far away from God and the things of God, that is the answer. Oh, I just want it to be over with. There's actually no meaning, there's no point. I don't want to hurt anybody, just like end it. It's the same thing. It's this lifelessness without Christ. And this is like a big meal that some people have to eat who think they are the answer. Like you listen to the songs in the world, they're about how it's like idol worshipping. It's men worshipping themselves, I'll never leave you. That type of songs. Or I am the one who shows the way. I don't listen to modern music, but it is so cringy. There's no way any of those words are true. Like, it's like a fetish version of something. Man, I guess I should have looked up some examples. I'm not gonna do that. I hate modern music, honestly. It's written in scripture that all the trumpets and stuff like that will go quiet, that no music will be heard in New Babylon again. And it's literally talking about the spirits that create those songs and listen to them and enjoy. Like the melodies might be fine, but when you get down to the lyrics, man, they are so garbage. Anyway, that's beside the point. This is another meme that I saw. Rose threw a 250 million necklace into the ocean to honor a guy she hooked up with once. Meanwhile, her husband spent his life working for her and her granddaughter cared for her. The real villain of Titanic might just be Rose. Okay, now you combine it with this second meme. I can't believe he didn't cry at the Titanic. Do men even have feelings? Like, do you recognize what the problem here is? You are being like an animal herded into something that doesn't even make sense. It is truthless. It is so stupid. It's so unreal. when this old woman, this dumb grandma, throws away this, with what would have been like a life-changing thing for a lot of people, throws it away in some meaningless emotional gesture, like it is trash. Her love in that movie is garbage. It's this ruthlessness that leads to all kinds of false things, and you're supposed to cry at that. You're not supposed to cry at that, and you're not supposed to cry at the pilot who killed himself. You're supposed to look at it and recognize the errors, the mistakes that were happening. The man who did this cool thing, why did he believe he had to kill himself? I talk about Christ and the things that he did that are complete a lot of the times. When I'm talking about worldly things, they're incomplete. Like what happened with this man who flew the plane. I say it's like cool what he did. And it is. Like that's not the death part, not the part that he did this as like a last thing on the planet. That's all like sorrow, that's all miserable. I don't care about that. But that even this person who is like on the verge of dying because of his suicide desire, like he literally wants to die, would find some kind of reason, some kind of joy to take an airplane and go for a flight, do a barrel roll. That's awesome. That's cool. That's something that is about life. And even he was able to recognize that. That's why he went out like this. In a place of glory, you could almost say. There are people in the world who encourage suicide by accusing now him of having done something that's so horrific, like immoral and dangerous. They're not part of the spirit of life. They belong to the darkness, the evil, the lifelessness, the apathy. That they're about tearing things down instead of recognizing what's important, and that is a dying man found joy in taking an airplane for a flight, and he hadn't even like flown a real plane ever, and he knew how to do it. All of these things are a proof against all these accusers and their way of doing things, which is, you have to pay hundreds of thousands to learn to fly an airplane, you have to sit and listen, and you have to be like a robot, and everything will be tested, and it's this life-stripping, stealing, like torment that's so needless that you have to go through to get to the part that actually is about loving life and having a good time, and actually going for a joyride in an airplane. That's why I say it's cool. It's like he showed a way to do something better. It's not the way of Christ, which leads to salvation, but he showed a way to the rest of us that we can go on airplane rides without burdening ourselves with all the things, like the thousands of reasons, like evil, negative, cynical people have come up with why you should not fly a plane. Why you should not be allowed to fly a plane. He showed the way that there actually is a way. That's cool. Salvation is through Christ. He did the logical thing. I talked about this in my last video. It's not just about emotions and feelings. It's almost none of it. Although there will be some of that. When your dead heart that basically didn't feel anything before except like all kinds of negative things, like horrible things, nasty things, sinful things, it comes alive. It's a bit like being, it's a kind of anyway, I cried. But it's a logical thing. That's the true thing, the foundation. Like you have to recognize if God exists, and God does exist, this is what I believe, but you can think if God exists, then, and He's good, then the things that He created, which are true, they have to be true for them to be created. They have to be true. They also have to be true, like good. And from that you can like deduce that, well, the truth is the answer to anything. It's just people don't want to. People want to get away from it. People want to deny it because it's easier in many ways to just lie to yourself about something, and you won't maybe even see like the outcomes that are horrible that will follow from that immediately. So it's just something that people do in the hidden place of themselves. The Messiah spoke about this when he was talking to his opponents that are still in the world. It just looks a bit different. That on the outside it looks like you're doing great, that you're clean and pure. You know, in the world maybe it means you're like a very successful person, very respected, but on the inside you have all kinds of filth and uncleanliness. This is what I mean, like you're doing something hidden inside yourself. It's a kind of corruption, it's a kind of a perversion. It's like it's not straight, it's not holy, it's not righteous. But then the Messiah gives this command, this advice pretty much, to give of what is on the inside. So instead of hiding it, you give it. And then everything is like pure to you, clean to you, because you're not hiding. And that makes sense, because once you let the thing that you were hiding come out into open, you're gonna come under fire. That is to say, your sin, your evil, it will be brought to the light. And a lot of people will then test you and things like that. Those who themselves have a filthy inside of the cup that they're sipping from, drinking from. Yeah? Sometimes you see signs of it on the outside. Like there are people like this man who killed himself in the world today, and they're killing themselves every day. But they're just not taking the final step into the thing that they're already looking at, which is to actually end their life. Yeah, like every day, people are making choices that are without life, without Christ. That's what it means. He's the one who overcame it all. He came so we would have a full life.